Welcome to the Stickers on the Mic podcast, brought to you by StickerGiant.com, where we talk with our customers about how they started their business, how they're marketing their brand, and how they're growing their company. Without further ado, it's time for the Stickers on the Mic podcast from Sticker Giant. Let's get on with the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to Stickers on the Mic. Andrew here. Friday morning, it is February 5th here in Longmont, Colorado from the Stickers on the Mic studio, and I am so excited and fortunate to be talking to Terah Eatmon today from just outside Detroit, Michigan. And Terah, you are the founder of Body Baked Body Butter.
Oh my God, that sounds so good.
Well, you are the founder of Body Baked Body Butter. And, you know, just like a lot of our episodes recently, we've been having a really great time on Instagram, following you, engaging with you. I was very fortunate to write up a little story about your labels a little bit ago, and we'll talk a little bit about that more when we get to the marketing section of the show. But Terah, tell us a little bit about just yourself and what brought you to Body Baked, why this product came to be.
Well, I didn't really see myself even having a business at all. But because my mother, she suffered from psoriasis, she still does. But since she's been using the product, she hasn't had an issue. So in 2016, it was just something that I made for the household. Myself having dry skin, but mainly for her because of her psoriasis. I used to go to the hospital with her, and her psoriasis was so bad that she used to have to get those injections put in her scalp, like needles. I think it was probably around the perimeter of her head. And that really did something to me. I didn't like it. And at that time, I probably was 11 or 12 years old. I didn't like it. So to fast forward, I made the product. She tried it. She loved it. I loved her reaction.
Wow.
She's like,
she's your first
customer. And it was my first customer, that's right? Awesome. So by her being my first customer, I really was like, okay, this is nice. It's exciting, but I really didn't think that it would become a business until I started letting my other family, my friends try it. And then I was like, you know what? This could become a business. My mom said, go for it. I think this would kind of open up doors to, those that are using steroid creams. That stuff you don't want to use it for the rest of your life. So go the natural route. So That's kind of how I got started with Body Baked.
Interesting. So your grandmother's your first customer, but you're talking a little bit about sort of, using other not natural products, and you have some familiarity with that. You also have, outside of Body Baked, as we were talking, you work in healthcare, so you have a good sense of that whole system and just how people can get care for certain ailments, right? So how do you balance that? Like I just said, you're working on two things. You have a job, and then you have your brand. How do you sort of find balance there between the two?
To be quite honest, it's hard. It's very hard, but I make it work.
Right.
So I can work, I work 12 hours a day. Well, it's 3 days. So when I'm getting off work at 7:00 in the morning, I just have to get in the kitchen, make inventory, ship orders, and then maybe by 1 or 2 o'clock, maybe I can get a nap in, and then I'm right back to the hospital. So it's very stressful, but I feel like it's worth it. I love what I do. I love my patients and I love my customers. So I feel like if you have a passion for what you do, then you can make way, so.
Sleep will
Sleep.
come. Sleep will come, right?
Look, I always say I'll sleep when I'm dead. Okay.
Hopefully that's a long way away, because it sounds like you have a lot of people to help. So what year was it exactly when you sort of kicked off? You're like, I bought a label, I put it in a jar, and now I've attached a dollar value to this. When did that sort of all come together for you?
2017.
Okay.
I'll say 2018, just because 2017 is fresh.
Yeah.
I was doing my own labels,
Mm-hmm.
and 2018 is when I really took it seriously.
Mm-hmm. So when you said I'm going to take it
um,
seriously, like what was that sort of process there when you're like, okay, so what did you have to do to take it seriously? You know what I mean?
well, I went ahead and I created my website.
Mm-hmm.
But I also had to do more research on what I was doing, whether I wanted to use glass jars or plastic jars,
Right.
what ingredients I wanted to actually use, how I wanted to market it.
Right.
I thought about my audience, who my audience was. So it was like one of those things where I had to get everything together and try to figure out a way to push the product out.
Right. And speaking of that website, folks, it is bodybakedbee.com. That's where you can find these body butters. And that's like your main product right now, right? Like you have different sort of scents and ingredients, right, that make them all up. Which one's your most popular one right now?
Popular would be apple honey. Apple honey. That's
Really?
a hit.
It's
It's
a hit.
always sold out.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you find that, because that's fun when you find something that people resonate with, and then you can promote it. What is the testing process for you to like make these sort of scents, like these mixtures? What is your creative process there? 'Cause there's a little creativity involved, right?
Yeah. So I usually I go through a supplier for my fragrances.
Okay.
And sometimes I'll use essential oils. Sometimes it's just a fragrance that is not harmful to the skin. And I test it out, Sometimes I'll even mix certain ones to come out with that perfect fragrance. But that's not all the time. So I have a great supplier that has tons of fragrances. And also like Bath and Body Works. So all of my customers love Bath and Body Works, let me tell you. So I always try
So that's sort of your demographic, right? Like when you said you thought about your audience, you're like, I want to attract the Bath and Body Works people, but in this very narrow category. You know what I mean? So what do they love about Bath and Body Works, and how does that like influence your thinking?
Oh my God. I went in Bath and Body Works the other day and got a candle. Bath and Body Works, it's so many fragrances. You have tons and tons of fragrances. Some of them, have pineapple. I think it's pineapple mango that I have.
Uh-huh.
And I'm even thinking about sampling that just to see what it smells like. Maybe I can,
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So they love they love smell goods. They love desserts. They love to smell like a dessert. So.
That's awesome. Do you want to smell like a dessert? Body Baked is for you. That's funny because that was actually my next question about this other. I saw this one flavor, birthday suit. What is that like? Where does that come from?
So it smells like birthday cake.
Oh, okay. Nice.
It smells just like birthday cake with sprinkles. And I thought of the name. I said, I don't want to just call it birthday cake. It has to have some type of, the name has to stand out. So birthday suit, we were all born in our birthday suit. So
I know.
Let's go with that.
That's so great. That's so funny. That is fantastic. I love that branding on that. So, over time you sort of developed your brand, right? Your brand has to like become sort of a part of you, and you have to feel comfortable in it too. Speaking of being comfortable in your birthday suit, like once you became able to like really get your presence out there, right? Like, you kind of recently created a new sort of look and feel for your label. What brought you to that?
Well, the label that I had before was a little girly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for girly pink. I love pink.
Right.
But I had to switch over my label because I noticed that men were using it.
Right. Oh,
So I wanted to give it a feel of, still dainty, but a man can hold this product in their hand.
totally.
So rose gold, I feel like is a unisex color.
Right.
I feel like I needed a, a label, a logo to stand out.
Hmm.
So I just went with a unisex color.
Yeah, because you do one of those how it started, how it's been. You've got your like the Sharpie on paper label, that came off a sheet probably or something, and then you had this like it looks like a clearish label with sort of like a brush stroke, and it said body baked, and then you went to this like really nice mix of serif and sans serif fonts, and then the marble background kind of gives it like a foundation, right? But then we were really, really excited here when we saw this label too about sort of the way you use like in the word baked. And folks, if you check out the website, the way the color gradient goes across the word baked, but then also you got that line underneath too, which like where the colors change and they almost shimmer a little bit, which is hard to do on a matte label. How did you achieve that look and feel for that?
Oh my God. Me and the designer that actually did my label,
Right.
we were going back and forth. And she actually came up with the whole line.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, at first I was like, why is this line here? What am I supposed to draw anything, in it?
Right.
But she said, no, I just, she just did it. It was just something that she did. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, me too. So that's because, I'm a big geek on label design in general. It's part of my job, but I just like good design and good use of typography. And I thought it was also like interesting too, just it reminds me almost like if you took your thumb and you sort of like started, wiping it on, and that's what it would almost look like too. Like that like really it was evocative of like what the product is, doesn't matter what's inside of it. So you chose the rose gold because you felt like it would stretch across your audience. So that kind of answered that question for me. I was wondering where your color scheme came from. So you've gone through, so you obviously then you learned also you had a new sort of customer too, which was men, but through the process of just getting your word out there, what have been some successes you've seen in whether it's social or your website? Like what has been, good for you as far as getting the word out for Body Baked?
Social media.
Right.
I used to go to vendor events, mm-hmm. and those were nice, but I feel like running ads on social media was everything. Okay. That's what really got the ball rolling. And then just posting consistently mm-hmm. on Instagram. All my customers come from Instagram. Okay. Not really too much Facebook, but Instagram. Okay. So I would run an ad and make sure that I had a good quality of like content because, you don't want anything that looks not of quality.
Right.
And I started getting more likes, more comments. Shopify notification just kept going off.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh my God, this is really happening. But it happened in like pandemic, mm-hmm. when pandemic just started.
Okay. And do you feel like it's still, so that's interesting. So in the last, so like 9-10 months or whatever, you've seen some growth is what you're saying. Okay. And it looks like you're having some fun on your Instagram. Right? It should be a little bit of fun. I mean, it's work, right? But you have to like these people, your people, our people, the people who are out there on Instagram who are engaging with our brands, like, you got to be there for them. You know what I mean? So how are you trying to like educate and to sort of support your customers through especially Instagram?
I DM them. I DM them.
Okay.
I try to post stuff to make it, I don't like to be so serious, Mm-hmm. So fun posts. I'm getting more into skincare tips. I want to do more of skincare tips, going live, doing more different stories on skincare, how important it is. So things like that.
Right on. It's very much in the self-care, especially like you're saying, you're stressed out, right? Like you got to find that time, and take care of yourself, take care of your skin, right?
Yeah.
So you got you got the butter. That's your like core offering. What are you thinking of next? Like what, from a sort of shopping cart perspective, what might you add to the site?
Body oil.
Okay.
That's next. That
Cool.
is next. The body oil is in a process. We're working on labeling now.
Oh, nice.
As far as like the graphics,
Right.
I can't wait for Sticker Giant to actually do those labels for me. I'm excited.
Oh, that's great.
I'm so excited.
So oil, did you find that people wanted that, or you're like, I want sometimes, with, especially like yourself, you're a solopreneur, you're like, I'd like this, or you're like, my customers have said they want this. What influenced that decision to do
So
it?
I did a poll on Instagram to ask what would they like. So it was between body scrub, lip scrub, even like a lighter cream, like a lotion.
Mm-hmm.
I think bath bombs, and it was body oil, and everybody said body oil. And I think it's great because in the summertime when I ship out, I'm always overwhelmed because I'm like, oh, okay, my customer is going to get the body butter, but is it going to be melted? Because I don't have any preservatives or beeswax or anything in it. So I'm always nervous. So I feel like the summertime, they can actually, if they want to, they can buy the body butter, but they can also buy the body oil. They don't have to worry about it melting or anything like that. So, and the body oil is more light for the skin.
So you almost could get into like a seasonal skincare marketing where you're like, here's your summer regimen with the oil. And then, once the fall comes, you transition over to the butter until whatever, March, April, depending on your climate. If you live in the South, it's sunnier and warmer. Colorado is very dry, but it does get cold. And we do have some fans on the team of your body butter. One of our folks was like, I bought it. I love it. This is the best. That's fantastic. So oil is next. That's pretty exciting. Good for you. Way to innovate. But so it can't be all making body butter and working. What else? Where do you find inspiration, and where have you been finding any time for your self-care?
You know what? To be quite honest, Andrew, it's hard. Okay. Today I'm off, so I'll probably go and visit family.
Right.
When I have my days off, I'll probably rest and go to the mall or something, or get my nails, get a pedi or something like that, just to kind of, have that me time. Go out to eat, or just have that time where I can do my own thing, read a book. Those are things that I do. Nice.
Good, because I just want to make sure. I know, especially folks who are running their own business, like you said, when we got started right away, it's just the schedule is rigorous, right? And you're trying to be creative too, which is hard. Working in social media can be a grind, but it looks like you're having some fun with it. Where do you do all your production?
I do my production in the kitchen.
Nice.
We just moved. Me and my mom, we moved 3 months ago to a bigger. We're in a townhome, so I have the basement.
Oh, nice.
So I'm able to stock and package my orders down in the basement. So I'm happy about that. But everything is done in the kitchen.
Right on. So you're like really, scaling right now, trying to find that, where you someday Body Baked will be in a big facility, right?
Yeah, that is the plan. That is the plan. I want a warehouse.
Right. That's awesome. We really appreciate, like I said, the engagement on social media. We've been enjoying watching your story grow. It's very exciting to hear you have the next thing coming, which I think is also, good to keep those ideas flowing and reach your customers in a new way. So good luck with that. We'll be watching for that for sure. Well, Terah, thank you so much for joining us today. And for everybody out there, I think there's some important lessons here, Terah. I mean, I appreciate, your perseverance and your commitment to doing this, right? So I think all of us can take some inspiration from that. It is always my pleasure to be joining all of you friends here for Stickers on the Mic. We always say on the show, of course, every sticker has a story. Today, we have the label from Body Baked and Terah, and it is a very cool design, and clearly you took some time to get it right with your rebrand. So kudos to you. Rebranding is always like a hard thing to do, and you kind of don't ever know if it's the right time. You know what I mean? But it looks like you nailed it, and you seem pretty happy with your new look. Yeah, I love it. That's awesome. So that'll extend into all the new products, and you can see that on Instagram. It's at bodybaked and _, right? __. Double underscore. And then the website is bodybakedbee.com. So definitely check some of those out. And so you were saying right now the apple honey is the flavor of the day. Yes, and it'll probably be sold out by the end of the day. Sounds like you need to get back to the kitchen. But that seems like that might. Is that sort of like your happy place sometimes, though? Do you feel like if you're in it, do things fall away? Do you find that flow state when you're doing this sometimes? I sometimes hear from people when they're like, I'm so deep in the groove when I'm doing it that everything falls away. Or you're like, this is just work. Which one is it for you? No, I love it. I love every minute of it, because I feel it. If I'm stressed out, when I get in the kitchen and start making butter, I'm calm. So it is my happy place. I'm glad to hear that, because that's what keeps you going, right? Like if it weren't fun, you would have stopped a long time ago, probably. Yeah, I would have. Well, awesome. Thanks everybody for joining us. Thank you, Terah, from all the way out in Detroit, Michigan today. And we will be looking for that new release coming soon from Body Bake. So everybody out there, have a great weekend, and we will. We'll see you next time. For everybody here at Stickers on the Mic and at stickergiant.com, Terah, thank you for your business, and best of luck as you grow. Thank you for having me.
That wraps up this episode of Stickers on the Mic, brought to you by stickergiant.com. You can download us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, or your favorite podcatcher. Thanks again for listening to Stickers on the Mic. We'll see you next time.